Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today I'm doing lots of different things. So I'm using my Counterfeit Kit Club, also playing with Media Mayhem, which is stencil, watercolor, and ink, and starting to play with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches for Series 19. And this is day 1. Yes, it's day 3 today, but I'm going to do day 1 because Sarah Christensen's sketch is so cool, and I wanted to use it. So I picked out these photos from way back in 2017 of my kiddos at Folk Fest. They're so cute. They're so little. That older one's almost an adult. It's crazy. And so to make those photo, like the Polaroid mats, I did pull out this wood veneer one that I put in my kit, but I'm not going to use it because there's 9 of them on here, and I could have used the one in the middle with the wood veneer, but I'll make them a little bigger. So I'm going to start with using some 100-pound cardstock, so it's really thick. And I pulled out all of these different colors. There's going to be 8 of them. I'm just trying to figure out which other one I want. And then I'm going to use this stencil from the Crafter's Workshop and use this part here for all 8 colors. And that will give me what I want for like an outside bit. So here we go. Between the red and the green, I cleaned it up, and then I decided yellow first, and then orange. I didn't clean those ones, but that's okay. I was strategic about how I did it. So, and then I am gonna do a cleanup, and then I'm going to do green and blue and purple. So, if you want to know what the names of these ones are, I can go look, but I don't know what they all are called yet. I know this one is, I think it's Salvage Patina. Yeah, but I don't know. I love this blue, and even though it's going in with a little bit of the green, it's such a pretty color. And then I didn't worry about the purple and changing it out either. A little more blue to that isn't going to hurt it. And yay. And I didn't clean it up last time, so with the bigger dots that I use that one. So yay, clean. Woohoo. And then I'm going to show you how I do one of these, and then I'm not going to make you watch all 9 because this is a long video as it is. And yeah, so I'm using this for some ideas of measurements. So the bottom bit is going to be an inch in for the bottom part of the Polaroid, and then I'm going to use about a quarter of an inch there, all the way around. And I eyeballed how big I wanted that space to be, and then I'm going to take off that last bit, make it a quarter of an inch on the top, and then yeah, and basically do the same thing for all of the rest of them. But I don't make you watch that because holy moly, did that take me a while. Probably 20 minutes just to do that. So this layout took me over 2 hours to do today. So, but there doesn't look like there's that much on it, but it definitely took me a long time to do. So this is kind of how I worked out getting the photos in, but I don't make you watch all of that either because that would have taken a long bit of time. And so I am going to bump ahead here. And then, so one of the things for Media Mayhem was the stencil and ink, which I've got on these Polaroids, and then it's watercolor. And so I thought I'd put this on black and I'd try watercolor on my black. I have some other ones that are a little more opaque somewhere, but I have no idea where that would show up better on this. But I was not going to find them again. And I'm putting these out and I'm like, oh, these are a little big. Just a little too big. And could I have made them all overlap? Totally could have. But I wanted to be a little bit truer to the sketch than that. So I just cut off a quarter of an inch off that 1 inch end. So it's around the picture, it's 3/4 of an inch on the bottom and a 1/4 of an inch around for the skinny spots, and so that worked out pretty good. And it's just over 4 1/4 inches. No, it'd be just over 4 inch. It's about 4 inches, just under, I guess, looking at it. And then the width of them are just over 3.5 inches. So, and then this is where I'm trying my watercolors. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. I was hoping they would give a little bit, because I wanted the ones that won't have anything in it to have something in it with the watercolors. But then I tried my scribble sticks and they're not going to be opaque enough either. Not going to work. So I put this aside, grabbed a new piece of black cardstock, and I have this white one in the middle that I haven't done anything with. And so I'm going to put all these out again so that I know what colors are where. And then I'm going to use the watercolors on the white one, which works. It wasn't what I was thinking I was going to do, but I'm going to put these so I can still see it on this side. And then this is a 100-pound cardstock, so I'm not worried about gesso or anything like that, because it's a pretty thick cardstock and it's going to get quite wet. But so I'm looking at my layout that I've got the stuff out beside me that you can't see anymore, and just doing colors in the order that they would be around the layout, just to tie that in a bit. So is this ideal for what I wanted to do? No, not even close to what I wanted to do, but it works and I'm happy with it now. But is it the intensity of what I wanted to do with watercolor today? Nope, not at all. And then I'm going to use this pink scribble stick, because the watercolor I had for the pink wasn't dark enough and I didn't have a purple. So instead of doing the blue and a red over top of each other, I just used the purple scribble stick. And then I'm just going to go around again. And more water to it. Clean that up a bit. I just wanted some of it, you could see the lines a bit more of where I colored. So I wanted it to not be so crayon-y almost. And then heat her up. I could have cut some of this out, but and so now I'm gonna put stuff away. I have such a mess on my desk. And then I'm gonna get stuff on here. So I'm only gonna glue the top part because I still want to do something inside that frame that's gonna be empty there. But obviously the watercolor is not gonna work. So now I'm thinking, do I want color in them or do I want something else? So that's why I only put the top down. And it's a good thing I put the top down because I did not plan this out very well as I was putting these on. So the middle one I didn't glue, which is awesome. And then I put this one on. I'm like, oh, but okay, this one and then this end one is not quite far enough. Like it's too far to the edge. There's not, I don't know, it must have moved or something. And then it wasn't straight and whatever. So I'm going to use my T-square and get this on almost in the same spot. There's enough there that it makes me happy now. So it is what it was. And then I'm going to go to the top left corner and get this one on. And so I'm just rejigging my pictures just a little bit. And then on, not that side. There's not enough there to like actually grip onto. I don't know why I try that all the time. Right there works even better. And then I'm going to do the other corner, and then I'm going to flip this around so that the wide part is on top, and it actually allows me to see more of my little one's doll, because the dolls came to Folk Fest with us for lots of years. They came, both of them, the dolls, but it was good. They had stuff to do. They build with twigs and stuff, and they keep themselves, when they were little, they kept themselves occupied with all sorts of imaginary fun things while we listened to music. So this is way back in 2017, I think I said. I think I said it anyway, but yeah, 2017. And then, yeah, they're so little. Okay, and then those 4 empty ones I'm going to deal with. And so I decided to use my Hero Arts white pigment ink. And so I'm going to use the same stencil as I had. I did think about using that other one. And I'm just going to put white inside with this ink. And it gives a little bit of the effect that I wanted. It would have been fine to use the Distress inks too, but I decided I just wanted a little touch of white in there. So, and then these ones I mapped out with a pencil, and then I'm going to glue on as I go. All these little bits and pieces sure take time as you're doing them, so just checking where my pencil marks were. I wasn't quite far enough across, so just a little bit more. I just didn't want to get outside of it, so that I wanted it to stay contained. And then this rainbow colored one that I did with the watercolors. And then embellishments. So I pulled from this month's kit, and I pulled embellishments from September's kit, and I pulled embellishments from stuff left over from my summer kits. I really did pull from a lot of different places to get embellishments on this one today. It sure took a bit longer to do as well, but oh well. So I put this ticket on, and then I decided I really don't like it, but it's going to be stuck there. And I put these stars at the top there, and it's okay. It's not what I wanted. I go and try and pull it off here, and it's going to rip it to shreds, and I'm like, no, I guess it can stay. And then I pulled out these metal words, so I have smile, and I have sweet that is on already, because her sleeping on the tarp there is really sweet. And then I decided that these tickets would look super cute in this title box, and I tried some of the vellum or acetate, I guess this is, and those hearts I thought maybe, but they're kind of getting lost a little bit. It's not quite the impact that I want, so I'm going to keep looking. Another ticket. And these flowers are cute. There's flowers on the sketch in some of these anyway, so I figured, why not? I'm looking in these camping ones, but there's not really anything that works there. And look at, I'm not even putting stuff away. What a mess. Thought maybe that one, and nope. Look at these Simple Stories ones. And that ticket that I put on that was orange actually came from this set, I think. So I'm like, Let's Smile would be kind of cute, but then it covers up too many of those tickets, and I'm like, no, not going to happen. Those ones I did put away. And then here comes some of the stuff I had last month. So looking at these hip kit ones, so I am going to pull out a few things. So I pulled that flower to start with, and I'm not going to use the blue one. It's just a little too elegant for what I end up with on the page. And those flowers don't match these flowers that I'm just put that Hey There Love in. They're like very different styles. So it's going to stay there for a minute, but that bottom blue one's not going to stay. I have this little blue heart. and looking at some more stuff. And so these are Heidi's swap, and they were in my kit last month and I think the month before. And I thought these colored block letters would go really well inside. So I'm going to spell out YYC Folk Festival. I get all of festival in there. And so I do have to move this around just a little bit, but it's not so bad. Maybe, yep, here we go. Just enough room for that. There is not quite enough room for festival, so I am going to overlap it on the edge pieces, but I did not plan it out to start with either. I was just going to wing it and put them closer together, but then that L gets way off, so I do have to move them all over, but that's okay. Change the color out of that one. They weren't super easy to get off here either. Sometimes stickers are not too bad, but these ones were a little bit finicky. And then that kind of ripped my, whatchamacallit there too, that frame, because it was still a bit wet, but you won't see it anyway. Then get all this down. And then the banner piece underneath the smile that's going to go on here in a second says family time is the best time, right there. So smile, family time is the best time. So I called this YYC Folk Fest, but it could have been lots of different things on here. So I'm going to commit to these flowers in the Hey Love. I like it. It works. Why not? And then I was looking for some other stuff out of this one, but it's not the right colors, and nope. And maybe some out of this one, which I used last month too. So I am going to use that banner heart that's orange, and the bestie since would have been cute on here, but I guess it could have went in that bottom corner, but I wanted some blue stuff in there. And kind of try and keep some of it similar. Not everything is similar for colors, but I did want to color block a little bit. So I pulled out the cupcakes because I thought they might be cute, but I don't really like the style of them with the hey there love and those flowers at the moment. And then I decided right away I didn't like that other one. And then the flower, that blue flower, I'm like, yep, nope. So a lot of indecisiveness today, and probably why it took me over 2 hours to do this. But looking at some of my Jen Hadfield stuff that I have left, I don't have too many of these left, and then that's all I have left of the sticker book. So not too much left of that, which I did a really good job of using that up in, I think that was in my August kit. Then move those acetate heart down. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to go look for some more stuff. So I found that flower that I just moved was beside me on my table. And I was like, oh, that matches the flowers that I already have. And then I seen this chipboard with the music staff. And I thought, yep, that could work. And the hearts could have worked, but I thought they were just getting lost. And then in this Hip Kit Club packet, I found headphones and tunes. And so I was like, yeah, that'll work. And then nothing else in these ones. But I thought I'd look. I have lots of stuff to use up in different places. And so I thought maybe up on that top one. And then I'm like, nope, it's going to come down here. And so nope, maybe, nope. So I'm going to pull off those hearts off of that acetate piece, and then this music staff is going to come down here, and then the flower and the headphones are also going to come down here, and then I can put the date in there, and then the tunes, I'm just trying to figure out where I want it, and it's really is the only spot I have left to put it, so that's gonna go there. I'm gonna find a little blue heart that's gonna go in there too, and then I thought about doing my journaling by hand in strips, but I had a lot to say about this year for Folk Fest, so I printed it off, and then I printed it off too big. So I'm gonna read what I wrote, and then I have to go up and change the size of it, but it's okay. So what my journaling says is, this was a great year for music at Calgary Folk Festival. You both were sitting playing with your dolls and asking if there's anyone that you knew that would be playing, and I told you the Bare Naked Ladies. And you asked, who? And I said the band that plays the Big Bang Theory song. A few band members were actually sitting behind us listening to the concert that we were at, and they chuckled. And I saw them as they got up and left that part of the concert. The night when they were on stage, they mentioned that the song that they were going to play were for their newer little fans in the audience, and they knew knew them by the band that plays the theme song. And so they didn't say which theme song it was when they started to play. They just started it, but it was really, really sweet. And it was kind of fun that they inspired, because they also said on stage that they were actually going to play the Big Bang Theory song, because it is kind of, I don't know what the words, I can't remember. It was like 2017. I didn't write it all down, but they didn't, they weren't going to play it, but then they heard my girls and they're like, well, now we have to play it. So they changed the set list a tiny bit, I guess. But it was fun. It was absolutely lovely. And the girls picked up on when they were talking about them. And it was quite obvious that it was, they had heard somebody. So, and my girls might not have been the only ones that they heard. Who knows? But it was lots of fun. So I put another metal love piece on, and then all of these glittery stars, because I did think it needed just something else. And so it's getting a smattering of these here, there, and everywhere. I'm going to use all of these dollar store stars up on this, which is awesome. I think I had 3 sets of these at one point. So they've gone on music festival layouts and Christmas layouts and winter layouts, and yeah. So yay, here are my close-ups. So that's a wrap on this page. There'll also be still shots to follow. If you loved how this came together today, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share some crafty love in the comments. I always respond to my comments. Blogs, playlists, and links are always, always, always shared in the description box below too. And I just did each and every one of these as my close-ups, because look at how cute that is. So it was a great sketch to get all of these photos on here. And oh, so sweet. And then there's the middle one here. I really like how that turned out. So thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you and the time that you've spent here. Here are some other things that you might want to watch. And thanks again. Have yourself a wonderful day.